Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Monday Fun Day comedy show here at the Timber Showroom. Our first comedian is from Tucson. He's a retired teacher, a hypnotist, and a 25-year veteran in comedy and peace. Put your hands together and welcome to the stage, Dave and Brila.
Oh, you can do better than that. Come on, keep clapping. We got How about a big round of applause for BJ up there? I haven't seen him in about 10 years. He does a great job. Welcome to Monday Fun Day. Monday, what is it called? Monday Fun Day here at the Hondah Casino. I love this crowd. I mean, clap your hands if you're over 60. It's like that movie, 50 Shades of Grey. That's crazy, man. That's cool, man. And I can do some of my old stuff. I mean, because we're all at that age where acid reflux is a flavor. You know what I mean? I just turned 64 and I joined ARP. I don't even know what AARP stands for. I thought it was a sound that makes the seniors when we have gas. ARP. ARP. But man, I'm getting old, getting fat. When I was younger, you wouldn't think of it now, but I was buff, and now I'm buff, eh? But I love that. The older I get, my plumbing starts to get messed up, man. When I pee, I dribble worse than the Harlem Globetrotters, man. So, where are my first timers? Make some noise if you're first time to the Hondah Casino. Where are you? Is that it? Okay, well, I'm going to open up the show with the typical Apache welcome. Everybody repeat after me. Dalote? That means welcome. That's how you say hello in Apache. I learned that because I used to be the assistant principal down in White River on the reservation. When I got to the reservation, I was scared to death because I was the only Mexican on the entire reservation. And you know, I only had problems with white people with the U.S. Cavalry, but the ones that started the wars really was the Mexican armies. They were the ones that picked fights with the Apaches. And the cavalry came to the Mexicans to help the Mexican armies because they wanted the gold in Mexico. That's a true story. So I was nervous. I met a guy named Gerald Kennejet, who turned out to be one of my great friends, an Apache guy on the maintenance team here. And Gerald says, hey, when you got comfortable with me, I could feel a little apprehension, like you were scared when you got here. How come? And I said, well, you ever seen those pictures of Geronimo? He always looks pissed off. And Gerald said, you ever have a Apache wife? And I knew right then the Apache people were a fun-loving people. They love to have jokes, play jokes. They love to laugh. They love to just have a good time. I asked Gerald, teach me some Apache. Well, what do you want to learn? I said, how do you say Mexican? In Apache, he says, Nakaye. I said, okay, how do you say like a badass Mexican, like an Apache warrior? How would you say that? Like a Mexican warrior, how would you say that? He says, Nakaye Nichle. Okay. Some of you guys that are laughing you know what it means. So I'm going around, we'll get a soda, and I'm going, Nakaye Nichle. Everywhere I go, we go to eat, Nakaye Nichle. I had a PTA meeting at school, had all the parents there. Okay. I get up on the mic like I'm badass. Nachaye Nichle. They all start laughing. Some lady says, Mr. Membula, why you tell everybody you're a gay Mexican? And I caught up to Gerald, you son of a... He said, I wonder how long it was going to take you to figure that out. Oh man, I've been into that show Alone. Have you ever seen that show Alone on TV? Yeah, it's a cool show. What they do, the contestants compete for like $500,000. They drop them off in different parts of the wilderness. And you know, they survive. The longest time they survive, I think the record is like 70 days, 71 days. But they will eat stuff that'll just turn your stomach. I mean, worms, grub worms, fish eyes and stuff like that. One guy, I was watching an episode, he was so hungry, so starving that he killed a rabbit and he ate it raw. Yeah, it was bad, and he got constipated, got real sick. They took him off the island, took him to the hospital. I think he almost died. Yeah, the doctor said he had a wild hair stuck up his ass. Thank you. I just wrote that joke this morning. I've been getting bombarded by a lot of emails from ChristianSingles.com. Have you heard of them? Christian Singles. Meet your soulmate, ChristianSingles.com. Meet the love of your life, ChristianSingles.com. Got sick of it. So I decided to join. But I signed up as Satan. They paired me up with my ex-wife. Can you believe that? No, I've been to hell already. Thank you very much. She may have been the devil, but I miss her Beelzebubs. That's all I'm saying. I took my kids to the Barbie movie. Has anybody seen the Barbie movie? And it's actually an adult movie. There's a lot of adult innuendo in that. But the kids all get dressed up as some of the characters, and they were mad because I just got out of work. I'm not going to get dressed up. Dad, you got to get dressed up. And they're all dressed like Barbies. And so I grabbed a sombrero and I went as a Mexican. Okay, come on, that was funny. I don't care what your pronoun is. That shit was funny. And in the movie, they have all these Barbies that are like doctors and lawyers. They even have one that's a president. And Barbie's gone from being nothing to being somebody. And that's the whole point of the movie, that it's okay to just be average, just to be nothing. And me, we always had Barbies around the house with my sister and all that stuff. Just once, I would like to see a Barbie that we could relate to, being Hispanic from the south side of Tucson. Like a hoochie mama Barbie, got hickeys all over her neck, crack baby named Stacy, lives in Section 8 housing, something like that. Been hanging around my dad lately. My dad's at that age we're all going to get to, where he doesn't give a shuck about anything. He doesn't care. He lost his couth. He just has no filter. So we went to the Olive Garden, and at the end of our meal, there was a lady came out with a bowl of those chocolate mints, those hard mint candies that you get, and she said, take a couple. My dad took 2 handfuls and stuffed them in his pockets. And he ate them all night long, all night long. I couldn't believe he did that. Dad, really? All night long. The next morning at church, he was farting Vicks. The kid behind us is, Mister, what's that smell? He said, shut up, it's the incense. And the kid said, the incense is burning my eyes. But he's at that age where he doesn't care. I come over to the house, Dad, let me in. And he's walking around in his underwear. Come on in, son. Like he's all proud. And his underwear is older than he is. And it's hanging all the way down to the floor. I can see stuff I don't want to see. Dad, put some shorts on, Pop. Those things look like a couple bruised avocados, man. And they're hanging all the way to the ground. Look, Dad, you're leaving a snail trail right here on the ground. Jeez Louise. Those things look like a yaki slingshot. Put something on. But kids grew up differently, and my kids make fun of me now because I'm walking around the house in my underwear, coming just like my dad. But we grew up differently than our kids nowadays. I mean, clap your hands if you had to do chores. Remember chores? Yeah. And you may have gotten an allowance. But you had to work for it. If you wanted more money, you just did more chores. That's how it worked. Nowadays, kids will ask their parents for money, and parents will just give it to them. I don't understand that. And back in my heyday, I remember asking my dad, and your dad's probably did the same thing. Dad, can I have $10? What do you think, I shit money? What? And the kids will talk back to the parents. My son asked me the other day, I became just like my dad. Dad, can I have $50? What do you think, I shit money? And he looked at me, he says, I don't know, but can I clean your ass for some change? Anybody have any nicknames? Clap your hands if you had any nicknames growing up. Nicknames? Yeah, over here? What was your nickname? Stick in the mud? Really? They would call you that? You didn't keep falling down in the mud or anything, did you? I had some nicknames. The one that stuck was Squirt, because I was a little guy. I was a preemie. Squirt. Plus, my dad used to have parties and he was a bartender. So he would mix drinks, but he wouldn't use Sprite or 7-Up, he would use Squirt. And at the bottom, when it got to the bottom of the bottle, he'd roll it around, he'd yell, Squirt! I'd come running in from the other part of the house, I'd suck it down like one of my alcoholic uncles, you know. And so that was my nickname. Hey, Squirt, how was school today, Squirt? You know, did you do your homework, Squirt? Do you have a Little League game, Squirt, this week? And then in 6th grade, we had that sex talk in health class. You know, and I was getting like sick to my stomach because, you know, I know it had to happen. It's just human nature. But the thought of my mom giving it up to my dad, I got pissed off in my dad. You know, I just had to get that image. I was all depressed the whole day. So I'm walking home slowly. And my dad got there before I did, and I swing open the door, and he says, hey, how's my little Squirt? Dad, you can't call me that anymore. Obvious reasons. So how's everybody doing after COVID? We're doing all right? Yeah? That was crazy, wasn't it, for 3 years ago, and all that, you know, people, everybody, I'm assuming, got the shot. If you didn't, I'm not going to judge you for it, but people got shots, and they got what was the other one called? The booster shots. Anybody get any side effects? Remember the side effects? Some people said they got headaches. Some people got stomach ache. I got a side effect from the booster. The only thing I got an STD. I have no idea how that happened. But that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I've had a lot of jobs since then. And I was a night stalker for a while. At least that's what the restraining order said. The neighbors would get nervous when they see me peering through the windows. But I also became a bartender. I had to go to bartending school. How about a round of applause for the bartenders, waiters, waitresses? Please. Take care of them. Because that is not easy. It's fun. But it's not easy. You got to memorize all the drinks, like the old ones of Tom Collins. Remember whiskey sours and all those tequila sunrises. Plus, they got new ones, and they're kind of risque, like Sex on the Beach. You know, a slippery nipple, a buttery nipple. You know, I remember how embarrassed I got the first time a girl asked me for a blowjob. But you get to mix these drinks up, and you get to have fun. And I'm at home mixing them up, and I say, "Hey, honey, how would you like a screaming orgasm?" She says, "Why, is the pool guy here again? What?" And we don't even have a pool. That's the bad. So now I work at a hardware store. And I promised my bosses I wouldn't tell you the name, but it's the opposite of Highs. You didn't hear it from me. I want to shout out to my friend Richie McHugh, came all the way. He works with me at the Lowe's that I'm talking about. All the way from Tucson, Arizona. How about a big round of applause? He doesn't know that I'm doing these jokes. Half of them are about him. No, I'm kidding. But I get to work, I get to be me. I was a school teacher for 40 years, believe it or not. And I was always getting in trouble because of my personality. I'm going to get to that in a minute. But here at the hardware store, I could be me. The first time I was in the hardware section, a lady comes in and says, "Excuse me, sir, where do you keep your nuts?" Usually my wife keeps them for me. She gives them to me when I need them, but I gotta give them back. She keeps them in a box on her side of the bed. But I'm having fun. I was out collecting cards, and there was a couple that was running into the store. The gentleman was an older gentleman running ahead of his wife. His wife was trying to catch up. He runs in. He sees my vest. And he said, hey, buddy, I got a couple questions. Yes, sir. He says, okay, first question is, where are your restrooms? Go straight down this aisle, make a left and first right. And by then, the wife had caught up. He says, okay, second question, where are your pressure washers? Pressure washer? How bad you got to poop, sir? And the wife started laughing, which just encouraged me. You know, we don't do enemas here or anything like that, sir. You want to be one of those fountains? You got to get that in the garden center, you know what I mean? Maybe you should eat some more apples and these while they're away. And I'm just having a great time. The only bad thing about working there, Richie will back me up on this, is we work in an area of town where there's a lot of meth labs. We got a lot of tweakers, a lot of meth heads. And They come in, I get it. I work in tools as well. They come in, get the tools, they steal them from us, and they're looking for their next meal, they're looking for their next fix. I get that, but we can't have that happen. So we ask them nicely to leave, and if they don't leave nicely, we got to get it a little bit rougher, And I ended up kicking out like 3 or 4 guys one night. And at the end of the night, I was leaving the store about 10, 11:30 at night, and I go out to my car, and I see the 4 guys, they're starting to surround me. And now they have weapons. And I recognize those weapons. Hey, that hammer's from Bay 6. That crowbar was on clearance. That axe, that's from our seasonal section. Ouch, where'd you get the pressure washer? And they're closing in on me. And I had to defend myself the only way I knew how. I threw a job application at them. I never knew them suckers could run that fast, man. I ain't seen them since. But like I said, I was a school teacher for 40 years, and I only got fired from one job, and I'm going to tell you about that in a minute. Now, granted, my personality is what got me in trouble. I didn't do really anything wrong. I was just always making jokes. Okay, can you imagine me being your kid's teacher? Right? And like I said, I was assistant principal for 2 years. 1 year here in White River. The second week that I was assistant principal in Marana, okay, this is what happened. I'm meeting all my staff, my security staff, monitors. Mr. Johnson, nice to meet you. And I'm reading their name tags. Okay, Miss Gonzalez, okay. Mr. Garcia, nice to have you with us. A little skinny, scrawny, blonde-haired, blue-eyed lady. I'm reading her name, she says Mulatalo. Mulatalo, what, is that Hawaiian? She says, no, my husband, he's Samoan. And I said, oh, I'm some Mexican. And everybody chuckled, it was a fun little joke. An hour and a half later, I'm in the principal's office with a grievance against me for racial slur. And I have to justify that. No, it was against me. I'm a Mexican, not her, I'm the Mexican. And not even my joke. It's a friend of mine, Patrick Candelaria, from El Paso. Rest his soul, he just passed away. And I'm telling Patrick what happened. And he's laughing his ass off. And then he says, serves you right for stealing my joke. But that's not what I got fired for. I'm going to tell you that in a minute. So, every year, since I've been teaching, I teach middle school, I get, first period, I get 6th graders. Now, when they're in the 5th grade, they're like the seniors in high school. They walk around like they're badasses. When they get to middle school, they're scared to death. So I have an icebreaker. I get them in the class, and there's always that one kid. So I ask them, okay, I want the smartest kid in there. Who's that? I am. Okay, I'm going to ask you a question. How you answer the question is going to determine how smart you really are. Are you ready? Yeah. I say, okay, do you have any holes in your underwear? And he says, no. And everybody starts laughing and say, how do you get your legs through? Because it's funny. I don't care what your pronoun is. That shit is funny. And they laugh and they love me. The rest of the year they work hard for me. When I was about 26, 27, I was asked to teach a master class at the University of Arizona. And I was nervous because there's not much of an age difference. I'm thinking, are they going to respect me? Are they going to treat me like a professor? So the students are coming in. I'm starting to get an anxiety, a panic attack. And what am I going to do? And I thought, I'm going to use that icebreaker. I'm going to use that. And as luck would have it, right in front of me was an empty seat, a beautiful 22, 23-year-old, fiery red hair, beautiful green eyes, just a dress that fitted the form of her body, not just drop dead gorgeous, sat right there. And like I wasn't intimidated enough. You know what I mean? Okay, all right, let's start this class. I took a deep breath. Okay, I'm looking for the smartest student in there. Who is that? And nobody raised their hand but her. She was the only one. I said, okay, ma'am, do you think you're pretty smart? I am in college. And everybody, ooh, all right. Okay, I'll get you now. All right. Gloves come off. I said, I'm going to give you a question. How you answer that question is going to determine how smart you really are. You ready? Fire away. I said, okay. Do you have any holes in your underwear? She looked at me just like this and said, I'm not wearing any underwear. My mouth dropped like this. I had nothing. I had no comeback. Nothing. I was so embarrassed, and you know, forget about the sexual harassment stuff that could have happened to me. I just had nothing. But that's not why they fired me. I'm about to get to that in a minute. Are there any soprano fans in here? Any soprano? Remember the show Sopranos? Okay. Then you know what the bada bing is, right? Okay. So I'm watching at home. I'm watching The Sopranos on TV. It's a bada bing episode, so I'm into it. Okay, at the same time, I'm creating a parent permission form to take my students on a field trip. We're going to go to State Capitol, find a strip mall on the way back, and just get them something to eat, take them home. But I wasn't paying attention because I was watching The Sopranos. You know, there's only a 4-letter difference between strip mall and strip club. Yeah. These letters went out. Some of them came back signed. You know, the kids were excited. The dads wanted a chaperone. And I got called up in front of the school board. But that's not why I got fired. I'm going to get to that in a minute. Do we have any school teachers in here? Any retired school teacher? Who are you? Oh, make some noise. Come on. Clap your hands for these folks. You guys have no idea what we go through. Teachers are like Vietnam vets. You don't know. You weren't there. You know what I mean? And they'll back me up on this. Whenever we can't find a substitute for a teacher, we have to cover each other's classes. It sucks. You know, we have to give up our own planning period to go cover somebody else's. So I got a note in the morning, and it said, Mr. Mabilla, you have to cover 4th period, 5th graders, social studies. So I get there, and there's no lesson plans, which sucks even more. Just a note that says, teach them about the 50 states. And so I read it to the kids. It's, what are you guys doing? She wants to give us a test. Okay, so what have you learned so far? Nothing. She hasn't even started. So what am I going to do? I'm thinking, oh my gosh. So the comedian in me kicked in. Okay, I'm going to make up a riddle for each state. Okay, you tell me what state I'm talking about. And you guys can play like you're the class, see if you're smarter than a 5th grader. Okay? All right. Here's the first question. What state has the highest cell phone bill? Anybody? Highest cell phone bill?
California.
No, it's even easier than that. Texas. Texas. Okay? So you see how the game works now. You're saying that. You're saying you're oohing me because you didn't get it. Dumb shit. Just kidding. All right, so here's the second one. All right. So what state sounds like a small soft drink? Like a small soft drink. I heard it over here. Minnesota. Minnesota. But what was cool is the kids were like into it. So they were saying, Minnesota, 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 Minnesota. So I could see they were trying to retain the information. I think it's working. Okay, now this is an easy one. If you don't get this, then shame on you. What state is a pirate's favorite? Arkansas. That's a good one. All right. Okay, you're not going to get this one. I'm going to tell you because the kids couldn't get it. What state has the largest people? Nobody? This is hard. Okay. Oh, look, Utah. You know, grown if you want, you're going to be telling these to your kids tomorrow, I guarantee you. All right. I'm going to leave you with this one. Which state has the most baby mamas? The most baby mamas. Anybody? Idaho! That's what I got fired for. Right there. Idaho. That's what got me fired. I saw a license plate. Anybody here from Idaho? There was a license plate outside. I thought, oh shit, I'm going to get my ass kicked at the comedy show. Now I have a lot of time to just piss off my wife, and so I do. You know, ladies, you can't, we're not listeners. Guys are not built like that. We're fixers. You know, a problem happens, we'll give you a solution. So my wife gets mad when she comes to me with a problem. But she's mad at me now because our washing machine broke down. She wanted me to go out and buy another washer. Heck with that, I started doing loads of my laundry in the dishwasher. Well, it's a washer, it's going to get them clean, except now you never know what you're scratching out the salad plates at our house. Hey, Dad, is that a crouton? No, I think it's a Klingon. But she's a great homemaker. She likes to cook. Not that she should have to, but she likes that. She likes to bake. So at Christmas, I bought her one of those bread makers. And she makes bread all the time. Zucchini bread, banana bread, whatever kind of bread. She never cleans the darn thing. Now it's got a yeast infection. It's cool though. I pour a little Monostat 7 in the batter. It's all good. So I grew up, I'm from Tucson. I'm going to have to get out of here real quick. I'm from Tucson. Anybody from Tucson besides Richard? Right on. Okay. So you know Tucson. I grew up on the south side, a tough neighborhood. My neighborhood was so tough, the local YMCA stood for your mama's a crack addict. That's how bad. Some guy had a yard sale down the street. He sold everything in the house. He didn't even live there. But I love the smell of tortillas and in the morning, chickens crowing. It was a Mexican neighborhood. I'm very proud to be Mexican. Thanks for giving a shit, folks. And it cracks me up because people will go to Mexico to buy prescription drugs. Or they buy furniture or anything else. But prescription, they're cheaper, you know. But it's Mexico. You never know what you're going to get, right? I was down at Puerto Vallarta. I bought some Viagra. For 4 hours, my arm was like this. I couldn't even pee, my arm was so stiff. But I'm proud to be Mexican. Tell everybody, hey, I'm Mexican. No, you're not. My friends say, hey, you're from here. You're born in the United States. That makes you like Chicano or Hispanic. So I decided to combine those three words, Mexican, Chicano, Hispanic. So now when people ask about my ethnicity, I can tell them, let me see, Mexican, Chicano, Hispanic, I think that makes me a mechanic. Thanks a lot, ladies and gentlemen, that's my time.